session within 5 minutes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello. So very good morning to all in the today's session. Today we have our expert Mr. Jitendra Mandalia with us in the morning session. So I would like to brief introduce our expert today. So good morning to Jitendra sir.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Yes, Kaushal sir, you may introduce.
So he's working. Now, when he was awarded with e-governance certificate as a mentor and state topper from government of Maharashtra too. And let me introduce about his current position. So Jitendra Mandale sir, he's currently an associate director with so Vadodara Smart City project. Okay, so now you can say he was associate director with Price Waterhouse Coopers Private Limited with 30 years of multi-domain experience related to smart cities, safe cities. That's all about the CCTV management and IT infrastructure, data centers and software systems in government, PSU, BFSI, and the telecom domains, covering the both R&D environment as well as corporate IT industry. He has over 20 years of experience as an IT consultant and ICT solution architect in consulting, planning, implementing, and managing large-scale IT projects, including smart city, safe city projects for various government and BFSI utility clients. So before joining PwC, he was vice president of Internet Service Provider Company in Mumbai and also head of graphics and CAD division at CDEC Mumbai, formerly National Center for Software Technology. He has advised Maharashtra state government and 3 other municipal corporations as a member of expert committee on e-governance for large-scale e-governance projects. Now, I will introduce about other experience. So he was working as an IT solution architect for following different safe city projects like Mumbai, New Mumbai, Pune, and other metro city like Delhi, Hyderabad. He was managing the CCTV for safe city projects, and he was also working as a solution architect for different smart city projects in Ahmedabad, Pune, Vizag, Surat, and Lahore city. And currently he is working as a project manager and consultancy team for Vadodara Smart City projects. So he had architect technical solution for all IT projects in Vadodara Smart City. So sir, now I am handling over the session to you. You can start your session.
Good morning. I thought, my CV pen profile will eat away most of the lecturer's time. So let us, jump to the today's session on IoT in smart cities. I hope my slides are visible. There is one famous landmark in Vadodara that I have depicted in the slide. Can anyone tell me what is it? Okay, it is the famous Lion Circle in Vadodara.
See.
Okay, now let us come to the agenda of this. 1 minute. Okay, so agenda is we will briefly touch upon how IoTs are looked at in Indian smart cities context, and how all these IoTs which were possible for the Vadodara smart city. I will take Vadodara smart city as a reference and see how we have implemented these IoT components in Vadodara smart city. So briefly, we will touch upon each of the component domains. First is, everybody knows CCTV surveillance. It was the first IoT to be implemented in many cities. Then comes smart traffic management, how the signals are handled intelligently. Then smart poles, also like intelligent public transit, how city buses can be managed using smart IoTs, how smart waste management can be done with garbage collection tracking and so on, how smart water management can be done using IoTs in a water distribution or a water pipeline network, and how does all this data come to a center point, and how the total analysis for the city is done. In Indian context, what are the key takeaway points for the smart cities? and what are the current limitations and challenges as far as the current laws and certain privacy issues are concerned. Let us track the journey of Vadodara Smart City. Usually it takes around 2 to 3 years to actually implement sizable projects in a smart city. So as you know, Government of India had this ambitious program of 100 smart cities, and Vadodara was selected in round 2, and now we have about 12 to 13 projects, and Vadodara has won 12 awards also for these smart city projects. And many of you would be aware that our command center was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister in 2017. So I saw your slides, your previous schedule, and notice that lot of theory components have been covered about what is IoT, how it functions, what are the technologies, and what what are the other aspects or the theoretical aspect about the IoTs. So now this particular session is about the practical applicability in a smart cities or a city's concern. So this particular slide, the smaller letters may not be visible, but at least the headings would be visible to all. So it tells that there are a lot of cities, living cities, and we want to make lives better for the citizens. So that is the concept of smart city, that how can I make life of a particular layman or a citizen better in a city. So this particular schematic or the ideal diagram is called Libelium Smart World. You can search on the Google and you will find that how IoTs can be helpful in smart cities. But it will start with let's say a particular monitoring the air pollution, fire, then your smartphones, then your traffic related issues, lighting related issues, road and how roads can be made better, how water leakages can be prevented, how traffic can be managed better, how waste can be managed better, how quality of the water can be managed better, and how the let's say logistics or shipping or any other thing related to business can be made better. So out of these concept, let's say in an Indian context, these are the smart components that can be implemented by a city government. When you say city government, that means the municipal corporation or a police authority, with the funding from, let's say, state and central, how a particular smart city project can be implemented. Am I going too fast, or is it a right pace? Because I want to cover maximum practical aspect.
No, sir. It is the right pace. No issue.
Okay, fine.
No problem, sir.
Because I want to just directly jump to the actual project and actual photographs, actual outcome of the how these IoTs work and so on. So I'm just covering this overall aspect slightly in a faster pace. So of course we have e-governance program and citizen services and so on, but nowadays most of the services are coming to the mobile devices. So you need a better digital backbone or a better, let's say, tower infrastructure for actually delivering all these mobile services. So that could be taken up as a smart city project. Then we have normal lighting. Now city government or corporations and many towns are converting the sodium halogen to the LED based thing that saves energy, but side by side you can also control them remotely. Earlier you used to actually go to the road and switch off the light in the morning, but now you can control it through the command center. So that is also a IoT application. nowadays the signals are working not in a time manner, but in a vehicle, density manner. That means the signal is actually detecting how many vehicles are passing. And similarly, if there are no vehicles, there is no point turning that green light for so long duration. And you can actually open the other lane and close this lane because there is no traffic. So that's how the smart signals are working in Vadodara. CCTV surveillance, you can implement a lot of analytics on the surveillance. Nowadays, we can see analytics even in our home CCTV. If some intrusion is there, you can get an alarm and so on. But in a city concept, you can actually detect the vehicle's number plate, and you can actually count the entries of vehicles entering in Vadodara or leaving Vadodara if you have all these ANPR cameras at the city checkpoints. Then weather monitoring, disaster management, interagency coordination, all this is possible through the IoTs and a centralized agency called Integrated Command and Control Center, where the data from all the IoTs come to a place. It is analyzed and presented in a meaningful manner for the city management authorities to take better decisions. So that's how the entire concept from the field to the command or to the higher management, it is working in smart cities. So role, what is the role? City has these usual problems. Law and order, there is law and order to be maintained on the street. If there is, loot or a chase taking place, you need to know what is the number plate of that particular vehicle or so on. Then we have to protect our national buildings, government buildings, private buildings, and so on. Then transportation and traffic management is usually an issue in bigger cities, not in small towns, but still, it can be managed better. Water waste disposal is the biggest problem. Either a small city or a big city, you will see a lot of garbage heaps and dumps. That is because the agency is not able to reach to that point to collect it, or the agency is not doing their work 100%. So how this can be managed? Power grid, electricity components is already there. So nowadays we see less frequent breakdown in electricity just because of the smart components. Water SCADA can be managed for a better water distribution, and weather on our weather stations are generally available on website and mobile applications. So now let us look at Vadodara's smart IoT projects or smart IT projects. So what is needed? First, in order to actually make use of IoTs, you need what is the connectivity, because if there is no connectivity between components, the data cannot reach a center place. So first and foremost, what you need is a connectivity in IoT. In your theoretical sessions before, you would have noticed that IoTs can operate on a number of networks. It could be a SIM-based network or Ethernet-based network or any other network channel by which you can actually transfer the data. So what these many cities are doing this, they actually do what you call optical fiber network across city. So for example, what is being presented here on a map is Vadodara's optical fiber network. This network is owned by the municipal corporation. It is not owned by Jio or Vodafone or any other network. It is owned by my corporation, and it is actually carrying the traffic of all these IoTs. And there are technologies how this can be made to expand and so on, that you will find it in your theoretical sessions in your usual colleges lectures also, that how OFC network can help you to transfer the greater data across the devices. if there is a moving object, then you have to use the SIM card. For example, a city bus would use a SIM card inside it in order to track the position. So combination of OFC network and other network plays a role in our IoT network in the city. This is slightly a detailed slide, but now you will see practical photographs, the actual photographs of IoTs in Vadodara Smart City. So starting from left, we have cameras, around 950 cameras in Vadodara. Then number plate reading cameras, which are actually installed on very high gantries, so they can catch the number plate of an incoming vehicle from a distance. Then we had the signals before in Vadodara, but they were turned smart by installing extra cameras to detect the vehicle and vehicle density. You have usual loudspeakers, which can actually relay the messages from the command center. So you would have seen these messages relayed during Corona times that, please observe social distancing and so on, those, or during the flood time, not to venture out, or during curfew time and so on. That is happening in Vadodara and many other smart cities which have implemented this particular network or the component. Then there are emergency call box. So they are also IoT based. You press a button and there is a small camera, and your photograph and you can actually talk to somebody in a command center if you are in distress and so on. Then Vadodara has 8 environmental sensors which are connected to the command center, and those readings of the environment data is also available on a mobile application for citizen called My Vadodara mobile app, where you can see all these weather readings. Then on the right side, we have these public variable messaging signboards. So you will see that those messages are very big in size, installed at the crossroad or junctions, and these messages can be changed from a command center. So it has two purposes. One is you can earn revenue if you actually put advertisement there for certain duration of time, or you can put public messages such as social distancing, better health and hygienes, and so on. Then other projects such as garbage vehicle tracking, water SCADA, smart city buses, and a layer to actually converge all this on a GIS map, and then mobile application to put these applications out to the citizen. So this is how the IoTs are actually implemented and used in any other smart city. So now we'll go slightly deeper into each of the projects, starting from left, that is cameras, signals, public address system, smart poles, and so on, how each one is implemented and what are the types of the IoTs. So first thing is cameras. Many of you are aware that there are various cameras are available, and we use it day in day out. Our smartphones have the biggest and fastest cameras ever, but one size will not fit all, because everything, for every application you will need a better or a slightly different camera. So for example, right on the rightmost side, we have a thermal camera, so which can actually do the infrared imaging and detect any boat in the sea from, let's say, 10-15 kilometers away. So that is the the ultimate camera called thermal camera, and the leftmost side is the usual our standard fixed box camera. Then nowadays there are drones installed cameras, aerial surveillance. Marriage parties used to have so many drone camera photography, but the actual or the business use of drone camera is there in mining and many civil infrastructure projects to do the survey and mapping and verification. These are the photographs of surveillance cameras in Vadodara, and you can see that you can read the number plates, and then the automatic number plate recognition program is also reading number plate and giving the data. This is how AN camera will look at the vehicle. On the left side, you have, as the vehicle is passing that camera, a photograph is clicked, 30 or 25 photographs a second, and the number plate is read using optical character recognition techniques, and the number plate is actually logged there in a central database. Now you can search on this number plate. If there is stolen vehicle, you can red flag it so that alarm will sound as soon as that vehicle is entering the particular camera location. This is how the ANPR camera aspect of the IoT is working in Vadodara. And through all these cameras, it is being seen at the central place. So let it be flood or any procession, rally, or any accident, you can monitor it through the command center. These are just photographs. On the top right side, there was a small accident. A truck had a slight dash with some bike, so that is a particular thing is also being captured. And by the way, the camera recording is available for 30 days. So if some post-processing is required by the police or law authorities, it is available. Vadodara has usual garbage problem. So we have implemented garbage cameras also. These are the cameras which are actually pointing to a garbage dump site, and through analytics you can actually do that. If there is so much of littering, means the road is not clear, that means that some garbage would have come near outside the dustbin, because our habit is not to throw in the dustbin but to throw just next to the dustbin, so that you can actually alert the authorities that now it is time to actually clear that particular dustbin. These are offenders photographs. And these are the smart billboards. These are the advertisement for either health or cleanliness. And what we have done is that the environmental sensor, which is reading the PM10, PM2.5 and other environmental values, we have connected with the billboards, so that real-time data is available from the environmental sensor directly to the smart billboard. So that AQI of, let's say, 39, you can see it on that particular thing. It also measures temperature and noise. Okay, now next domain of IoT in city is how do you manage your traffic better? So traffic usually has to manage in a signal, because signal plays the very vital role of managing, means to stopping the traffic. Signal's role is to stop the traffic, but that creates a problem, because if you stop the traffic for too much of time, the other side traffic will actually pile up. So this is where the IoT smartness comes into the picture, to whether I can see the vehicle density. So here is a traffic that multiple signals are actually reading the vehicle density, and they are talking to each other that how can I pass this particular traffic from one signal to another signal. So you would have heard about green corridor, that in foreign countries you will not encounter a red signal if you start driving a highway at a particular speed. So we are trying to implement that in Vadodara, and we have success up to 80-90% across 7 signals. What are the components? The components are nothing but a camera, which is looking at the area across zebra markings on the road. So if the vehicles are piling up, that particular zebra road will be filled up. So it will decide that now it is time to release the signal or the release particular lane, and observe when the lane is actually becoming empty. So that I'll give an example that please see the picture on the right side, that from let's say from bottom to top, that lane is released, but other side traffic is piling up. You will see that a lot of, up to 6th or 7th car lane, it is packed. So now it is time to release that particular lane and close this lane. So that is all being handled through cameras and analytics at the central level. Okay, this photograph came in the newspaper. Can anybody tell me what is this photograph? Anyone? About 5-6 months back, this photograph came in a newspaper and saying that habit of Indian motorists have changed. Any guess? Just to test my mic. Any guess?
No crossing of zebra crossing.
Right. At what time? Okay, so let me just close this. It is photograph taken from a smart signal in Vadodara, smart signal in Ahmedabad at 2:30 a.m. in the night. So at 2:30 a.m. in the night, the motorists know that if I cross this red signal, I will get a challan. So at night also, they are stopping and waiting for the turn, because otherwise challan will come. So this is the role of IoT in smart traffic management. This particular thing also many would have noticed. What is this? Can anyone tell me what is this? It is a speed gun. So speed gun, what is the role is that, let's say in cities, the maximum speed you can travel is 50 kilometers. So this particular gun is monitoring your reflected signals, and if the speed is more than 50, you are sure to get the challan from this particular gentleman. And this has been implemented in many cities to actually warn the motorist of not to speed away. This is also one of the IoT. Okay, now let us come to the other important projects, such as which is the intelligent pole or the smart pole. So many would have seen this smart poles in Vadodara. This one is one next to the Akota Bridge. What are the smart pole is nothing but a collection of IoTs installed at a central place, and then it is providing OFC connectivity across the network. So you can have a solar on the top, then you can have a camera, you can have a billboard, you can have a Wi-Fi access point, you can have a digital signage board, or anything IoT you want to plate, you can actually install on the pole, and it will serve the purpose of connectivity as well as reachability. So these are the basic concept of smart pole. So we have smart pole. What you can build is, you can free public Wi-Fi also you can build it. Nowadays, Wi-Fi and mobile data is so cheap that it has turned the table away from this particular business. But about 4 years back or 3 years back, everybody used to have 1 GB maximum data in a month. When you look at your mobile bill of, let's say, 2017, you will really realize that at that time the price of data was very important. So that anybody was getting 30 minutes of free Wi-Fi, the project would be viable, but not now. But still, this has a important component. Okay, so this is the size of that cylinder which is there on the top. Okay, this is the size. What is the important aspect here is that this particular cylinder can host mobile antennas from about 6 operators. Okay, so no need to install 6 poles. You will see many Geo poles and Vodafone poles and ugly, poles which are there on society rooftops. What they do is basically, these are your 2G, 3G, 4G towers. But those antennas can be installed in this pole so that city skyline can be done better, and there is a shareable space. That means that everybody's cost come down, and in turn they can increase the other factors such as giving you data cheap and so on. These are just installation photographs, how it has been lifted. The height is about 30 meters. There is a install pole, and you can get analysis of how people are using the Wi-Fi or and how it is the traffic and so on. Then we have smaller varieties also, because cameras need to have, camera height should be at the slightly lower. So you have a smaller version also, which can install the billboard and so on. And some public messages also, like, can be pasted and advertisement can be run. Okay, so that was smart pole. Now the next project is the transit management or smart city bus. So these are the IoT components of smart city bus. Usually bus has a GPS. It will track the traffic. It will also have a display unit which can be used by driver to either send the information or receive the information. So what are the location, vehicle metrics, driver behavior, and your trip timing and so on can be collected. It is transmitted through mobile SIM network. It lands in the command and control center, and it can be analyzed for a better city bus management. So that if the 2 buses are driving at the same time with the same route number, we will find that the next bus has no passengers and the first bus is very full. So how to avoid this kind of thing? How to do the, let's say, you can give app to the mobile, citizen, so that they can know that when the next bus is arriving and so on. So Vadodara has 75 these buses in which there is a PIS display. That means that bus route and ETA is available within the bus and outside the bus. There is a driver display unit and all that thing. Driver has also a small tab kind of device where it can see what are the messages being relayed from the command center. There are cameras inside the bus which is recording what is happening. If there is any pickpocket or unwanted incident, if the commuter complains, police can actually look for this recording and do any case analysis. Emergency panic button. Then on the right side you have at the city bus stop display boards telling you the time of the next available bus. Then at the central command and center, there is a bus depot, there is a terminal to manage all the depot operations, and there is mobile app which is available on Google Play Store to actually give the next available bus information, route planning, A to B point analysis, bus schedules, and so on. So this is role of IoT in bus operations. This is the dashboard of bus. You can see that let's say out of 170 buses, 122 was running at that time, 15 was not operational, and 33 were at the bus stop waiting for the next trip. This is how a central dashboard is being seen by the authorities to control the bus operations. You can actually track the bus route, what was the speed, whether it completed the trip on the time, whether they overshoot at any bus station, so that हमने देखा है कि usually in ST bus the driver won't stop the bus at the bus stop. It will stop at the 10-meter away, so that the whole 30-40 people will run after it. This kind of things also can be avoided if the exact stop location or a brake location is available through the IoT. That was the bus. The same concept can be implemented in garbage vehicle because the technologies are same. So what is the issue in garbage collection? That the garbage vehicle is not going to the place where the garbage should be collected, not at the right time, and sometimes it does not go only. So how this can be done is that same technology, you put some RFID reader in the bin, so that when the truck is coming, the contact is made so that they know that the bin is cleared. And some cities have intelligent bins also, that there is a level sensor. If the bin is full, it will show that 100%. If the bin is 0, that means that the garbage is collected. It's a very expensive technology. It is used in abroad, but some cities have started implementing things here also. What we have done here in Vadodara is that this chota hathis or the small garbage truck that comes to your society are implemented with GPS, just GPS devices, and their route is mapped. That you have to go from society point A to society point B, then you have to go to the next society, then the next society, and then 2 hours you have to cover this, let's say 10-15 societies and come back. So how that will be tracked? That particular GPS will be tracked in an application. So this is the application screenshot. That there are 53 running vehicles, 125 are not operating on the duty, and then a vehicle's track, society track is also seen on the right side with the blue lines. The vehicle started by coming via the main road, then it went to the first house or a first bungalow in the tenement, then it crossed certain tenements, it jumped certain tenements and came back. You can see which are the missed point, which are the collected point, and so on. So that's how garbage can be tracked better, or garbage collection can be tracked better. And some cities have done weighbridge integration also, that when the vehicle is returning, you can exactly know how much, let's say, kilogram of garbage was collected, and it will match with the daily average to see that they have collected properly or not. That is another use of IoT there at the weighbridge. Now let us come to the water problems. So IoT can be installed within the pipeline network, and from the central place, either you can know how much water is flowing, you can actually know how much is the pressure, you can know how much is the level in the water tanks, either at the overhead water tank or at the ground. You can also turn on the valves. You can also turn on the pumps and motors from the central place. If the level is not sufficient enough, you can do all this operation automatically also. So IoTs are nothing but simple, let's say your actuator, valves, your pressure sensors and so on, they all have SIM cards and they are transmitting the data to the command center. So for example, Vadodara has these quantities which are shared in the table, that about 130, 98 pressure transmitter, 97 flow meters, 42. Okay, there you can also measure the pH level and chlorine level and turbidity level, that pani kitna ganda hai, by remotely, because that sensor will tell you and it will transmit the data to the central command center. These are actual photographs of how these PLCs and pressure transmitters and how they are transmitting to the command center. This is the dashboard. That what is the site? You know, let's say on the left side, you will see that where all these transmitters and pressure sensors are there. They are monitoring the water flow and which site are working, which site are not working, which pump is open and so on. This is the central dashboard showing, you know, your various consumption level, filling levels and so on. And this is how a water pumping station is operated. If you go to any water pumping station, from outside you will find that there is a overhead tank. But below that, there is a lot of equipment which can be managed through smart IoT, such as pumps, your level sensors, your valves, your pH level measurement, and so on. That all this data can be transmitted on a mobile device. The right side, you will see that app screen, that a particular level has reached or a particular level has been dropped, and so on. That was, you know, smart water management. Now, there is one more concept which is very unique in Vadodara, that what if I can actually use the camera to detect any encroachment? So you will find that usually corporations and municipalities have empty lands that they want to actually develop for later purpose. But usually encroachment takes place, settlement, they go on residing. And then when it comes to the actual sale, you have to actually pay all these people for a subsidized house and so on to actually vacate them. So how do I know that, you know, that plot is being encroached or not in the beginning? Simple technique, you put the camera and you put some analytics and try to detect that what is that object. So on the right side, you will see that the analytics is measuring that what is the object. Is it a tent, or is it a car, or is it a person, just, you know, 2 or 3 person moving and so on. Then you can alert them accordingly that, okay, this plot is on the cusp of being encroached, so that it can be taken up at the central level. This is also intelligent use of any IoT in solving a city problem. Okay, so this was all about the device and the data. But where do they come to? They come to a central place called Integrated Command and Control Center. Can anybody notice what is this place in Vadodara? The next to the MS University. Okay, it is a command center which was built especially for this purpose in 2017, and it actually converges all the data that is coming from all the IoTs. that was inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister in 17. This is the tweet, and these are the photographs from inside as well as outside. And there is a whole lot of operations that go on to manage the main command center room and the data center. And this is a schematic how all this data is coming to the central place and getting converged. Basically, these are the benefits that if I converge all the data, we can manage the city better. These are the dashboard of converged data, and you can actually see that on the same one map, you will see all the IoTs, their reading, and their interactions, and so on. The underground utilities are also mapped. These are the dashboards of, let's say, historical environmental sensor data or historical vehicle data or anything. You will find it in a dashboard. Okay, that was the how all the IoTs are helping to manage city problems. So what are the key takeaways? Key takeaway is that we have a lot of IoTs. They are getting cheaper, and a lot of inventions and so on are also taking place, so that newer and newer IoTs are available. Data connectivity costs are coming down, so that there is a greater adoption, and in the places to actually install the IoTs, smartphones are also helping us to actually consume all the data and so on. That means the scope is very vast. But what are the limitations? The limitations are that still these solutions are not integrated. It takes too much of time to actually integrate the solution because of the let's say protocol issues and various standards which are not compatible with each other and so on, and or different vendors which have implemented the technologies in a particular way that it takes time to actually recode the traffic and put to the central place. There are jurisdictional and hierarchical issues also whether the government, that is not technical, but usually कि वो तो पेलूस का प्रॉब्लम है, वो पॉल्यूशन बोर्ड का प्रॉब्लम है, ये रिवर अथॉरिटी का प्रॉब्लम है, ये कॉरपोरेशन का प्रॉब्लम है, ये कैनाल वाले का प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. So that is also taking place. And better management and better best practice are also yet to evolve because nobody has seen the data in a converged place. Everybody is solving their problem. Electricity board is solving their problem. Garbage is solving their problem, but not integrated way. So that is also one current limitations. The next challenge is the data privacy. That what is happening to my data at the central place, at each of the field level, particularly when the data is being a personalized level. Let's say my vehicle number plate or my medical record, what is happening to that? Let's say my consumption of Wi-Fi usage, what is happening to that? My mobile number that has gone in the OTP, what is happening to that? And where all the data is being stored and who is managing the data, how secure is the network and so on. So now we are building a cyber security layer across this city to actually protect and manage this information security better. There are attacks, there are examples in the outside world in many other countries that you can actually lock down a city by targeting the IoTs and the central network. There are cases where, let's say, somebody had overpowered a variable messaging display and started projecting unwarranted films on the display to actually shame the city administration and so on. So these kind of things are also going to happen. So how do I protect my network and my devices against all these attacks? So cybersecurity layer, strong layer is also needed. And that will not stop from, let's say, implementation. Implementation is happening at a faster pace, and newer and newer technologies are also coming, and job market is also improving because of this technology being implemented in all these places. So in summary, what you are seeing is just on the top, and it is just tip of iceberg, and the next few years you will see a lot of things happening in the IoT space. A lot of AI, machine learning, and all that thing will help you out to actually do your job better, to do your job smartly, and to do your job intelligently. Okay, that's all from my side, and I leave it upon the audience now to have queries if there are. And I know that in a Google Meet and so on, opening a lot of microphone would be at a difficult situation. So I leave it upon to the moderator how this question and answer can be taken up. I don't want to make it this conversation one way. Till now it was one way, but now let us open it for a question and answer, and have your query solved. Over to the moderator, please.
Yes, sir. It was a very wonderful session and quite informative session. I request participant to unmute themselves and ask question, or else they may post the question on the chat box.
Yeah, my chat box is open now. I'm seeing the thing, and maybe if they can unmute by one. Let's say that they can post, say that my question this, and then you start reading the question from the top, and you know that particular guy, let's say Kaushal Patel, I see, and so on, and then he can ask, only Kaushal can unmute, and then that sequence can go on. Or either way, how you handle usually
Yes,
your
no problem.
question.
I have one question. The question is like, although these IoT and various integration of IoT with the different department and different places have been wonderfully implemented in Vadodara, I just wanted to ask that is there any mechanism to control these animals, those who are moving around in the roads, and is there any plan by the government that how they can be monitored and their tracking can be done? Particularly for cattle, in some of the places the tags are planted on the ears, but is there any other way by managing this random movement of animals on the roads?
Okay, we have done that. It is not that it was not done. So you will see that in all these cows, you will find a ear tag. Ear tag has a RFID and a number, plain number, let's say 4212. Okay. So these all these animals are registered in a central place, and these, wherever there is a spot, let's say they come across any camera, you can zoom upon the tag. People are taking the photograph through command center, and they are actually giving that as evidence to actually call that cattle owner and make them challan. Okay, this is happening. What is also happening is that after the vehicle is pounded, they are taken to the cattle pond, means a central place where, let's say, 30, 40, 50 vehicles are actually pounded and kept in a locked position till the challan owner comes, pays the challan, and takes away the vehicle. Now, people attack that place in the night and release the animals. So we have put cameras which will detect the unusual behaviors in the night and do the alert. So this is complete end-to-end IoT for your cattle problem also. But still cattle are moving because it's a too much of place and too many cattle. But IoTs are there.
Okay, sir.
Next question.
Okay, I have a question, sir. To add to it, hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Giving challan is one issue, but due to that cattle, some accidents happen.
Hmm.
Who will be responsible for that? Will that money will be recovered from the cattle owner?
Yeah, if you do, there is some. I think you can file a case, and there is some law provision is there. I am not very much aware, but it's a very legal process, and the same law is being used by this to actually pound the pound the animal.
No, instead, in the road boundary, wherever there is a possibility of crossing, using some low frequency signal, if you block the animal itself crossing the
Yeah, and practically it does not work
that may
out.
be the smartest solution than
Yeah, practically it does not work out because
some method
yeah,
so that the cattle won't cross.
yeah, it is there on highways, because what you will find that on highways sideways there are railings and you can detect, but in city there will be many false alarms. I mean, instead of cattle, let's say your bike or a set of 4 people are crossing, the signal will detect it as a cattle only because of the similar size and so on. So there are issues in the that kind of issues also there.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Do we have any other query, participants?
Hello. Hello.
If you are not, yeah, please go on.
Sir, actually, nowadays, recently we have heard news about some fire in hospitals due to some short circuit and higher temperature issue. So, can we resolve that thing by certain IoT solutions that we can monitor certain location where these kind of short circuits are happening and we can prevent these accident situations?
Okay, good question. It was planned in certain cities and it is not working out. I'll tell you how. It is very easy to detect a fire. Let's say your fire alarm panel is there, and if the panel can be connected by simple, let's say your SIM transmitter to a central place, it can be detected. Even the hospital owner can also get the same signal. But for the most of the time, the fire panel is not working due to maintenance issues. That let's say that their maintenance is due every 6 months. Let's say some circuit is not working, maybe battery is not there, certain let's say sensors are actually clogged because the smoke has to aspire there. If the sensors are clogged, it will not detect the smoke in the first place. So many maintenance issues are there. So even if, let's say, if their own fire sensor was working, they would have prevented this. And lack of compliance is also issue, that you have 40,000, 80,000 building in a city, and a fire department has 2 officers to actually inspect these 80,000 buildings to give NOC. So how do you manage it? So this is the basic challenge of volume only in Indian cities and stricter laws. That so nowadays, now the NOC processing being revamped and so on. Maybe a better time will come where these devices are working properly. Otherwise, there is no challenge. We had tried to implement it that that SIM card will transmit the fire signal to the central fire authority. Very simple thing. The question is, who will pay for it? The hospital says that I am not going to pay any money for your devices. I'm not going to manage your device because it is not my device. City guy will say, if I want to bear the cost of 80,000 SIM cards in a month, where do the budget will come from? Just a simple question. Forget about all other devices and so on. That is the challenge.
Thank you, sir. We have one more question in the chat box. Can face recognition done for animal also? So we can
No, usually that is not the good practice because not so much of us involved as far as the face recognition for animal. It is there for human because a lot of research is taking place for last 30-40 years. How to detect the face and what are our characteristics of a face and how it is changing and so on. How the same face with a beard, without beard can be the same, but not the case with the animal.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do we have any other query? Participants? So I don't think that we have any other question. So on behalf of Electronics and Communication Department, on behalf of the entire institute and on behalf of the AICTE FDP participant, I thank Professor Jitendra Mandalia for sparing his valuable time and sharing the important discussion and parameters which are covered for the implementation and development of the smart city. Of course, the session was highlighted and covered almost all the dimension of the smart city, right from the basic CCTV to the advanced encroachment part. So we really thank for sharing this valuable information to all the participants. And naturally, after learning this session, definitely the participant would be having broader idea that what and in future we may expect some collaboration that the faculty members and professors will be helping hand in joining and development of the smart cities. So I really thank Jitendra Bhai Mandalia. I also would like to mention special thanks to Manish Bhai for recommending Jitendra Bhai for this session. So I really thank Manish Bhai and Jitendra Bhai for sparing this valuable session for us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Signing off now. Thank you very much all. And I'll leave my email ID with Professor Bhargav so that they can contact me.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much.